What's going on, guys? So today I'm going to talk to you about how to deal with rejection as a photographer, as a freelance photographer. So let's go with that. So this is an article by the F Stoppers. So they literally talk about anything in terms of photography, videography, or anything like that. It's quite a good website. I use it all the time. I've got heaps of their articles saved onto my computer, and I read through them, and I get a lot of inspiration, ideas out of them, and sometimes to get some research out of it, and then I can explain it to you guys as well, because you gotta have some research. I can't just say it out of the back of my head and go because sometimes I won't make any sense. So obviously, as a freelance photographer, you're obviously gonna get rejection, which is daunting. It's not great. It's not a great feeling at all. It's a very, very shit feeling, but it's in everyday life actually, because in terms of self-employed or whatever, you will be faced with a lot of criticism in terms of doing something different for yourself. As for a day job or a night job or something like that, like I don't know, a 9 to 5, because obviously those jobs are easy, safe, whatnot, which I'm trying to get out of and get into this, either YouTube or being a freelance photographer or whatever. I can do. I feel like I can do it. I feel like I can try and make this full time, which I've been trying to do for ages. Anyways, let's get out of that. So when going into any freelance, obviously with social media and emails and DMs or whatever, you need to approach them. You need to approach them when starting out business or anything like that. You gotta approach them as a photographer, so then that way you're seeming like you're excited. You're like, okay, I've got this massive project going on. I'm gonna be taking these massive photos. I've got these people, they want me, but no, well, they could want you. They could go through your work and go, ooh, he's a potential, or either they'll say, oh no, we'll keep you in mind, or either something else, and they won't get back to you. And sometimes that has happened, but hey, if they don't want me, they don't want me. That's their loss. That's what I say. If they're gonna say no, because sometimes when you go through someone's like the brand's Instagram or band or whatever, you see their photos. Sometimes they're absolutely gorgeous, or sometimes they're absolutely garbage. No offense to any photographers, no photos are garbage. Sometimes the quality of them is just a bit meh. But yeah, as I approach some bands, they've actually said, yeah, no, we'll keep you in mind, and then I've updated them in terms of my photos and go, hey, check this out actually, and this might change your mind in terms of hiring me or whatever for an hour or two, or how long they're going for. So yeah, no. So let's get straight into section number 1. So here is a quote that she said about the quote that wasn't accepted. One of the most frustrating of all situations. Sometimes clients tell you that their budget is tight on the job, so they don't have much money, and it's very tight. And they tell you that that's why you weren't selected, because either you're charging too much, or either you're doing all this type of stuff for them, well, not for them, or like saying something wrong that they don't like. Sometimes it happens, because I have so many templates of how to approach and stuff, and a few of them worked, a few of them didn't, because that just depends on people's list of what to do and stuff like that. And then either, yeah, and that's probably sometimes you just gotta work on it, work on your approach, what you want from it, what you want to come out of it, or either ask if they want to get paid, or do some free work for them, so then that way you can get yourself out of the door. And also other times you're left guessing, or either you got ghosted, which I actually have. I haven't. No, some bands have done that to me before, and I didn't like it. I'm like, oh, they've just seen it but never applied. It's because probably the way I approached it, or either I was charging too much, or there's so many different reasons. And you're left wondering. You're like, oh, what the fuck? Yeah, no, it's quite a daunting thing to try and do when you're starting out, because once you approach people, because I probably approached about at least about nearly 50 bands probably around Sydney. That's all I can find. Yeah, no, but you just gotta approach heaps until you get one yes. 100 no's and then one yes. That's probably the rule. Probably. Yeah, that is the quotes that wasn't accepted. And also, here's another thing from Jesus. Here's another thing from the inquiry that went nowhere. A template email. So this is what to help from. I'm not going to tell you all about it because obviously I've already talked about inquiries approaching and stuff like that. So sometimes an email that will be well crafted and thoughtful response. So sometimes you can actually have artificial intelligence to tell it to, you know, save a response back, so then you don't have to do it if you're away or at work, your casual job or whatever. So sometimes it's great to have a setup email to reply back, like a voice email or like some sort of thing. So then that way you don't have to be there, which is great because like sometimes if you don't have time to be on the spot with that communication, your communication may be lacking, or either you're coming across as too excited for the project. Sometimes when you're obviously inquiring, because like obviously with technology and stuff, sometimes you won't be coming across on the phone or on like text saying you're excited, but then in person you're just bloody well excited. You're like you want to jump up and down, and break the roof of the house. That's how excited you are. And yeah, no, I think inquiries are completely fine. It depends on how you do it and how well the person takes it. But always have like an email set up, so then that way if you're not there you can reply back instantly, and then that way you can go okay, maybe like set up times of when you're available, and either do that. I just reckon that's probably the best thing to do. Set up times where for people to know when to email you and stuff like that, and then have information, or you have a voice message or an email message left. So yeah, that is the inquiry that went nowhere. What's going on, guys? So here is another thing that she says: the existing client rejection. Unless you really messed up, it is difficult to understand why you couldn't be getting more bookings. It's either because you quoted too much for the budget, or either you've try to push them into doing it, but then they go, no, you're not style and whatever, and then they just ghost you, which is terrible because that's happened to me before, and it's probably the shittest thing ever, because it's not great to be ghosted by people, because it's like, well, I've offered my services and you haven't said anything. They're either not interested, or either they just go, oh, I've seen this before. Which is like trying to go for a job interview, trying to submit a job application, and then you just get nothing. It's like that. You've got everything there, but they haven't looked because they go, oh yeah, no, let's see you later. But just stay positive, stay professional, let past clients or either new clients know about your new offers, or either let them. Just keep following up with them and talk to them, and just try and go, hey, do you need to have a photographer for this event or this thing or blah blah blah. So it's common sense. But she lists off reasons of why for this section. Rejection doesn't hurt, and it's completely normal, which is absolutely true in terms of everything, in terms of freelance or any type of work in this world, especially in sport as well. Sport is, if you don't get the starting 11 towards let's say Chelsea, you're obviously you're going to be benched, or either you're not playing well, you're not in form, you're not focused, or anything like that. I hope Cucurella gets benched. Anyways, let's just stay away from football for now. Or either they don't have any work right now, which is completely fine. They probably don't want a photographer, or either they don't want your services. That's their loss. They usually use their regular photographer. That's completely fine. Like that, if they use their regular photographer that they know of in person, that's completely fine. Your style doesn't match with theirs, so sometimes my style of editing doesn't match with, let's say, real estate, long exposures or something like that. I don't know. Anyways, in terms of my photos into real estate, it just wouldn't match. It wouldn't really match because obviously you need to see everything. You need to see everything in the house or whatever that's getting displayed. You quoted more than what the budget is. Pretty simple, because either they're very tight in terms of their budget, which is what I've said in the other section. Yeah, no, if you quote too much, they're gonna go, no, I'm gonna go to this guy. I'm gonna leave right now, which is completely fine. You're not at the right level you're not at the right level in your career, which is sad to say, but maybe you are, maybe you're not. Who knows? Who really knows? Because like, once you get the opportunity to work with someone, take it. If it's for free, take it. If it's paid, absolutely take it. But free work is better than nothing. That's what I've said in terms of, for me to try and get into music photography, get all my photos displayed on band Instagram accounts or whatever, and try and get people to share my work, and then that way I can share value towards them and myself. That way everyone wins. They've got the photos. I've done my work. They're happy with the photos. Boom, send it. So yeah, please like and subscribe as well. Turn the notifications on. And this is how to do a rejection as a freelance photographer. It's by F-Stoppers. It's an article as well. I'll put the article in the link description below. And I'll see you guys in the next one.